You are watching KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. President Biden announced early Sunday afternoon he will not seek re-election. In a letter posted on the X social media platform formerly known as X, the president says, or rather Twitter, the president says he is stepping out of the race for the White House and will address the nation later this week. Biden called serving as president the greatest honor of his life, but he went on to say it was in the best interest of the Democratic Party and of the country to stand down from the re-election effort. Biden says his focus will be on fulfilling presidential duties for the remainder of his term. A senior campaign official reports they were informed of the president's decision shortly before the letter went out. And President Joe Biden now endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee for president. Biden says in the post that this is his first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Harris as his vice president, and that's the best decision he's made. He ends the post urging Democrats to come together and, quote, beat Trump. Let's do this, unquote. And former President Donald Trump telling NBC News this afternoon saying, quote, there has never been a president who has done such damage to our country, unquote. When asked whether Trump was surprised by Biden's announcement, Trump says Biden should have never been there in the first place. The former president has continued criticizing Biden in multiple Truth Social posts in the hours after Biden announced his decision. So here is your viewer poll. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you support Biden dropping out of the race? 83% stand at yes, and the remaining 17% voted no. We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10. Early reports say Biden told his senior team he changed his mind about staying in the race at 1:45 today, just 1 minute before his letter went public.
President Biden dropping out of the race for president and endorsing his vice president, Kamala Harris. Harris releasing a statement saying her intention is to earn and win this nomination. She does not automatically become the Democratic nominee, and the process to choose a ticket remains murky. Democratic National Committee Chairman Jamie Harrison saying, in short order, the American people will hear from the Democratic Party on next steps and the path forward for the nomination process. Biden dropping out of the race this afternoon saying, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term.
This decision was selfless and strong. He put the country first.
Biden exits amid growing calls to step aside.
It's time. It's just time. A new generation to come in.
Biden's candidacy began to unravel nearly 1 month ago at the first presidential debate.
This guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want.
Days later, Biden telling ABC's George Stephanopoulos only divine intervention could get him to leave the race.
With the fence of, if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
He remained steadfast on the campaign trail.
If you're going to drop out, what you going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again.
The Republican Party already narrowing attacks on Harris, releasing this video.
If you ever wondered how Joe Biden could get the border so screwed up, remember, he had help.
We are waiting to see when President Biden will address the nation. He has been at his vacation home in Rehoboth Beach, recovering from COVID. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Governor Greg Abbott taking to X this afternoon saying Biden's endorsement of Kamala Harris only further pushes his efforts to, quote, triple the border wall, razor wire barriers, and National Guard at the southern border. And it is now time to talk weather on this Sunday night with meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey, what you got?
Well, we got rainfall out there. Look at this right here. Current conditions in Victoria, 77 degrees. See the rain falling in the graphic here on the live shot from the WeatherBug camera there at Victoria College, emerging technology complex, south part of town. Feels like 78 degrees on the outside, a lot of humidity in the air. The rain continues to fall, and it's going to be a big issue throughout the week. A lot of rain headed our way, and some flooding potential is there as well. We'll give you the details coming up in the full forecast a little bit later on. Karina?
Trey, thank you. The Justice Department is suing the largest housing provider for unaccompanied migrant children, claiming children in their care have been repeatedly harassed and sexually abused. The DOJ reports employees of Southwest Key, based in Austin, have raped, touched, or solicited sex and nude photos of children since at least 2015. Southwest Key has 29 child migrant shelters in 3 states, including Texas, Arizona, and California. The lawsuit states an employee repeatedly sexually abused 3 girls ages 5, 8, and 11 at the Casa Franklin Center in El Paso. It also reports an employee working at a shelter in Arizona took an 11-year-old boy to a hotel and paid him to perform sexual acts for several days. At least 2 employees are now charged since 2020. Southwest Key says the lawsuit does not present an accurate picture of the care their employees do provide, saying its primary focus has always been the safety, health, and well-being of all children in their care. Nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Beryl slammed into Houston, CenterPoint Energy says it has restored electricity to all of its customers. More than 2 million customers lost power at the peak of the Category 1 storm, which made landfall on July 8th. There are still a couple of thousand people who do not have power as of Saturday morning. However, the company says those outages could be for customers who have severe damage to their homes and are unable to receive that power. At least 22 deaths have been reported in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. A Christian group of around 60 people left Harrisonburg Thursday to begin an 11-day march to Washington, D.C., demanding a ceasefire in Gaza.
We're a group of Mennonite Christians and other people of faith who are concerned and are grieving and are lamenting, particularly the role of the United States in supporting Israel's genocide in Gaza right now. So we're marching to D.C. to make that call.
On Thursday, Mennonites and allies affiliated with Mennonite Action from Harrisonburg and around the U.S. began their 11-day, 135-mile march to Washington. They're calling on Congress and the Biden administration to support an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and to halt military aid to Israel.
As Mennonites, we're Anabaptists, so we believe in more of a peace theology that's really important. And so with how the U.S. is giving money and giving arms to Israel, we believe it's really important to do this in extreme circumstances.
The group will be singing hymns and holding evening worship services along the way. They also plan to add more people as they go along, with hopes of having around 100 by the time they reach D.C.
I feel like a lot of us have been alone in watching these videos of the horrific things that are happening in Gaza right now. And so to not be alone is extremely wonderful and important, so we can kind of grieve and do something meaningful together.
Mennonite Action is also going to join an interfaith coalition in D.C. to counter-protest the annual Conference of Christians United for Israel, a self-proclaimed Christian Zionist pro-Israel group.
It's an invitation to consider that things don't change unless people get together and organize collectively to build power to make that change. And so hopefully this is a witness to that.
The group expects to arrive in D.C. on July 28th and go straight to the White House.
A woman is fighting for her life after authorities say someone stabbed her multiple times and almost threw her over a balcony at Miami International Airport. The attack happened Saturday night. Police say a woman and a man were on the 4th floor of an international terminal when he suddenly started stabbing her. The woman managed to escape to the 3rd floor, where officers then found her. Police arrested the suspect and recovered the knife. Investigators say this attack was unprovoked. Paramedics took the victim to a hospital where she was listed in critical condition. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 5:30. UPS now facing a lawsuit following the death of a dog. The whole incident caught on camera. Those details next.
We have the active radar zooming into Victoria County right here. The storms rolling through the city of Victoria, from Nursery down to the Victoria City itself, and off to the east near the Victoria Regional Airport. Light rain there toward Wharton Ocampo, and more to the west. And we're getting started with the rainfall around here. It's going to be a big feature around our neck of the woods for the next several days. Give you the details on how much we expect coming up.
A 17-year-old man is recovering after being attacked by a grizzly bear. It happened Thursday evening near Columbia Falls, Montana. Wildlife officials say the man was picking huckleberries in Flathead National Forest when the bear charged him. The man shot and killed the bear with a handgun. Officials say most bears only attack to protect cubs, territory, or food, and they're checking to see if there were any cubs nearby. Incidentally, huckleberries make up a significant part of wild bears' diets in Montana. Now, a tragic story out of California. A woman shares how her dog was killed by a UPS driver.
I took the package. I saw my dog was she couldn't move anymore.
Naria Hartuyian says the tragic loss happened Wednesday, just after 5 p.m. Security camera video from the next door neighbor shows the UPS driver approach the home with the large package, then toss it over the gate. The neighbor says he also saw the driver toss the package over the front gate. Nadia's Ring camera picks up seemingly moments after, showing the driver squatting, looking toward the gate in the direction of the package. Soon after, he drives away.
My neighbors were there. They helped me with the doggy. I brought them to the Mission Hills Clinic. They said it's passed away.
She says initially her two dogs, Cookie and Lulu, were let out to play and started noticing something outside the gate. According to her, the UPS driver didn't ring the bell before dropping off the package. One of the dogs was put inside, but in the time Nadia went back out to grab Lulu, that's when she says she saw the horrifying sight. Nadia also says she's contacted both UPS and Amazon as she ordered the package from there.
He could kill me. He could kill any baby playing here or anybody else.
Now it's mourning a family member, a dog she rescued about a year ago and says brought her a smile every day.
Yesterday when I want to let her out, I took her and I say, I don't know, Lulu, but why I love you so much. And it was my last time.
We did receive a statement from UPS. It reads, quote, "We recently learned the situation in North Hills. We are certainly concerned and will contact the customer. We will investigate and take appropriate action," end quote. Meantime, Nadia says she's been in touch with her attorney about possibly taking legal action against UPS, the driver, and Amazon. Reporting in North Hills, I'm Gio Insignares, KCAL News.
This year's Amazon Prime event hit record numbers. Between July 16th and 17th, shoppers spent $14.2 billion during the online sale event. Adobe Analytics reports an 11% boost in sales from just last year. Amazon has yet to release its sales figure, but says that it's the biggest Prime Day ever, with more items sold than any previous Prime Day ever. Its online retailer reports in weeks leading up to the event, millions of shoppers joined Amazon Prime. Now, for more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com, and don't forget to submit your birthday wishes so Sunrise anchor Carolina Astrain and meteorologist Parker Cox can read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we may recognize them.
Let's take a review of the day. How today was hot, 95 degrees before the rain moved on through, which is right on average where it should be this time of year. Both are high and low. 101 back in 1939 was the record high on the state. Nowhere near that. The rain is coming down and staying a while, probably all week. We'll give the details coming up next in the full forecast. Good evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. Let's take a look at the radar. And it's active, of course, beginning to subside a little bit, beginning to weaken these storms, or that is. But they're still producing some heavy rainfall north of Victoria currently, about the areas near Nursery, Thomaston area, Fortran along 77, also near Cuero as well. Extending on down the east part of the city of Victoria toward the airport, and some in Calhoun County, a little bit of light rain there along 59 between about Edna and Wharton El Campo. And we're just getting started with the rainfall around here. Definitely going to be a very wet week. Have a lot of factors in play that's giving us some widespread rain chances. And the flooding potential could be an issue as we get toward the latter half of the week, especially once the rain begins to pile up even more. High temperature next several days, only in the 80s. Why is that? Well, because of the cloud cover and rainfall. So there is a plus to this, of course, keeping the temperatures being too oppressively hot. Future temperatures starting off in the 80-degree range currently, and then we'll be upper 70s in the overnight tonight as usual for this time of year. And then rising temperatures tomorrow will be in the 80s for daytime highs. Not seeing a heat index value because of the cooler temperatures and the rainfall in the area. And something that's a positive, though, take a look at this. This is the tropics. Zoom way out here, the entire Atlantic Basin, all the way from the African coast to the Caribbean Sea, east coast of the United States, and the Gulf of Mexico. We see some areas of thunderstorms in the western Gulf. Not anything organized as of yet, of course. Don't expect anything to be organized out of that, as the conditions are just not there. But this will help to supply rainfall for South Texas and our region here. So that's why we're keeping the rainfall chances pretty high as we go toward the next several days. See thunderstorms in the Gulf. Nothing organized, not a low pressure area, anything of that nature, but it's moving toward the coastal zones. Then a combination with the trough low pressure of the state of Texas and a weak stationary front over the area. That's giving us the rain chances that we're going to be experiencing and seeing the next several days down the road. Take a look at the future rain totals. Let me get out of the way here so you can see the day by day currently. Well, less than a quarter of an inch currently throughout the majority of the region, but as we go throughout the rest of the week time frame, let's see, Sunday, Monday, and by the time we get to Tuesday and into Wednesday especially, we really have caught up with rain around the region, anywhere from 4 to 5 to 7 inch totals more than likely throughout the entire Crossroads region, especially by the time we get to about Friday or so. So this could be the ingredients for some localized flooding in around the region, so keep that in mind as you're going about your day for the next several days down the road. And we're seeing the future trackers here. We're seeing the rain begin to subside because we're losing the daytime heat. Clouds still hanging in though. That'll take us through the early morning hours for your Friday, and your Monday I should say. Maybe a passing rain shower along the coast starting to move inland by the time we get to about 10 or 11 o'clock. And then it becomes fairly widespread with some localized heavy rainfall potentially coming up by the noontime hour coming up every day tomorrow. Cuero, well, partly cloudy skies, and majority of the time we'll see scattered numerous rain showers and thunderstorms, and locally heavy rain not out of the question. Port Lavaca, you're pretty much the same. Your temperatures in the 80s for highs, no 90s anticipated. Victoria as well, scattered storms throughout the day on your Monday, and that's going to be the trend the next several days down the road. Not really seeing any severe weather per se. The main threat is going to be flooding with the widespread rainfall anticipated for us. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 70s. Watch weather developments for the next several days, and we'll keep you informed on anything that you need to know. We will let you know right here, of course, and just be careful out there as we go through the next several days with heavy rainfall. Let's take a look at this right here. This is your QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. They'll take you to a webpage. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge to stay connected with us. I got Ray over there with sports.
Thank you, Trey. Coming up on 25 News Now Sports, we have local sports organizations in full force and premier prospects being featured and hosting a big tournament. Stay tuned. Competition is in Fort Worth and ends today. Full Force is no stranger to sending their older group of athletes to Minnesota. Just a few weeks back, the Full Force gym had a lot of success. Yet again, Hannah finishes at number 2 in the country level, 5 through 8 in tumbling. Corey Winheimer makes the podium, finishing 3rd. Sarah Yates comes in at number 6 on level 5 through 9. Trampoline Riley O'Connor comes in at number 7, and River Trailer comes in at number 3 in tumbling. Premier Prospects will be having its 6th annual Midnight Madness tournament. And here's Director Ernest Gonzalez with some more details.
You know, the only thing is trying to stay awake, trying to keep teams to stay awake, keep the girls busy. And then, you know, there's people out there that do fall asleep, but that's why they call it the Midnight Madness. Teams, you know, they're pretty competitive, and when they play each other, pretty equal. So, you know, they run out of time. So we have to do what's called an ITB, International Tiebreaker. So
you can catch this all-night tournament on Friday through Saturday morning, taking place at the Victoria Youth Sports Complex for Division 8 through 16U. Pool games will start that evening. Single bracket elimination games will be held at midnight. First and second place winners will receive new custom Coastal Bend Championship rings and medallions for the MVPs. The Generals right now down in Baton Rouge with the hopes of bouncing back after last night's 4-6 loss against the Rougarou. We look to expect a big performance from Travis Bragg, who went 5 for 5 last night. First pitch is at 7 p.m. And the battle for the number 1 seed in the AOS is still going strong. The Astros looking to sweep the Mariners, and today that was not the case. Seattle's getting 2 runs in the 2nd inning and erupting for 3 more runs in the 6th inning. Ronel Blanco posting a great defensive presence on the field, but so far he had 5 strikeouts. And the Rangers, they redeemed themselves beating the Orioles today. The Rangers able to put up 3 runs in the 4th inning, which proved to be enough. Following a great defensive performance from Jonah Heim, he became the man responsible leading the way offensively, going 3 for 3. On the pitching side of things, Andrew Heaney also helped leading the team to victory with 4 strikeouts. Final score, 3-2. And great news for Team USA. Kevin Durant has rejoined the team. The 36-year-old All-Star has been dealing with a calf strain injury the last couple of weeks. Head coach Steve Kerr has expressed no worries so far. This announcement comes after USA's close call against South Sudan, winning by 1 point. He's expected to suit up in tomorrow's showcase versus Germany at 2 p.m. That's it for your sports. Karina, back to you.
Alrighty, thanks, Ray, and stay with us. Coming up, we get ready to celebrate Mango Day. want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And Monday is a special day to pay tribute to one of the world's favorite fruits. July 22nd is designated as National Mango Day. It's a sweet, of course, tropical fruit popular in both desserts and drinks. Mangoes were actually first cultivated more than 4,000 years ago in India, and they're actually the national fruits of Pakistan and India. And the tree is the national tree of Bangladesh. Celebrate by posting pictures of your favorite preparation with the hashtag National Mango Day. Now, Ray, I know you're new to South Texas, but you and your fiance should definitely try mangonadas.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right.
You ever had one of those?
I have, yeah, very
you need
tasty.
to. You need to get on board with the South Texas
Mangonada.
trend.
So what is this, like a drink or?
It's like a puree of mangoes that are like frozen, and they have like chamoy and like tahini. You need to try it.
All right.
Recommend.
Very tasty.
I know my fiance's watching, and I know she's definitely going to make a mention.
Well, is this weather going to be good for mangonadas?
I would say so, because you'll be inside most of the week, because the rainfall is going to be pretty widespread. Some heavy rain potentially as we go through the next several days. Look at that all the way through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So be careful out there, and low water crossings. They could be seeing some flooding this week, so be weather aware. So there you go. Be safe.
Alrighty, thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Have a great week.